Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sue with Homesteading with Sue, and today I am going to do a simple spaghetti sauce. I've already started on my 20 pounds of Roma tomatoes. I put a necks in the bottom of them to make them easier to peel. We want to core them. And then peel it. Sometimes you don't need a knife, but sometimes you do to peel them because they don't always work correctly. Okay, and then I'm gonna, because I don't have a food processor. Well, I do have a food processor, but I don't have a food mill to be able to sort my skins and seeds. I don't want seeds in my tomato sauce, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and get the seeds out. And the seeds are kind of like, whoops, in this little pocket. So what you can do is you can just pull the seeds out. You can leave the rest of the membrane there because it's meaty. And you just nicely pull the seeds off of that. See, like this. And then to be able to peel them, what I did was I put them in hot water, let the water boil, and then I put an X in the bottom, which I told you about. And then once the skin starts to pull itself up off of the tomato is when you pull them out of the water. And then you put them in an ice bath so that they will not continue to cook. Thought I would show you a couple on how to get the seeds out. Sometimes you open the wrong side and you have to just pull it apart like that. And I just nicely pull out the seeds. And after this, I will put them in a food processor and make them so that it's a continuous liquid. Anyway, I will be back to show you the rest later. Okay, so what we need for this simple spaghetti sauce recipe is 20 pounds of Roma tomatoes, cored and quartered. I actually removed the seeds from them also. 2 celery stalks, which I've already cut in pieces. 1 large onion that I've cut in pieces. 1 medium bell pepper that I cut in pieces, and it's all going to go into the food processor. I got 8 cloves of minced garlic, which will go in there also. 6 tablespoons of fresh parsley, 4 tablespoons of fresh basil. I don't have my there is some stuff I'm missing right now, but we will also need a half cup water, 2 tablespoons of dry oregano, 4 tablespoons of salt. I'm sorry, teaspoons of salt, not tablespoons. 1 tablespoon of freshly ground black pepper, and a half a cup of packed light brown sugar. So first off, I'm going to go ahead and get everything cut up, and I'm just going to start putting it in the pan. So That's the basil, the parsley. The bell pepper. Celery. And the onion. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and empty this out and then start to do more. Sorry, I forgot to get a spatula. Actually, I might let this go around a little bit more. Because it looks like the onion isn't completely chopped up finely. Oh, it looks much better now. I'm going to wipe it down off the sides a little bit and then go ahead and mix it a few more times. And I'm going to process the tomatoes just like this. So I'll show you a batch of them and then I'll stop. There's no reason for you guys to watch it all. Actually, I'm going to get the rest of the ingredients and add to this, and then I will go ahead and finish processing everything. So give me just a second. All right, so apparently at this step, we've added everything except for the water. And that was a half a cup. Now I'm going to go ahead and mix this together. Okay, and then everything else after I'm done with all these tomatoes, I will add the oregano and the salt and the pepper into the pan and mix it all together. And then after it has cooked for 10 minutes, then we'll stir in the brown sugar, the half a cup of brown sugar, and then cook for an extra 5 minutes. So when I get there, I'll let you know. Okay, I just wanted to show you what it looked like before I stirred it or anything. And I haven't put the salt, pepper, or oregano in there yet. I will do that on camera. And I'll be back. Alright, so now we need to bring it to a boil over medium heat. I just added the salt, pepper, and oregano. Just stir it together. All right. So when it starts to boil, I'll come back on, and after it has boiled for 10 minutes, I'll come back on and add the brown sugar, and then we'll boil for an extra 5 minutes. Okay, so we are going to pressure can these the spaghetti sauce, and it'll be pressure canned at 10 pounds of pressure for 60 minutes. I am in Oregon, so you need to check your own zone altitude for this. And then this is a pressure canner. And then there's little lines on the inside of this to show how far to go up in water. But the book says to put 3 quarts of water in. So whenever you do any kind of canning, you need to have a metal grate on the bottom so that the jars do not hit the side of the bottom of the canner. And I'm just going to go ahead and put 3 quarts of water in here. And if I don't like the look of it, I will add a little extra water, because I don't want to run low on it. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and add just a little more water. I am doing pints. If you were going to do quarts, you need to can them for 70 minutes. And then while we're waiting on this to do its thing, I'm going to get my jars ready, which are already clean. So what I do is I just put them in the sink and run hot water into them and let them sit. It says we should have 14 jars, which my pressure canner will hold that. I think it's an, I don't remember exactly what my pressure canner holds. I can't remember for sure. But I'm going to do all narrow mouth for this. And then, like I said, I'm going to put water in it, and I'll be back when we're ready for the next step. So I'm going to have to double stack in my canner, so I actually need another one of these to put between them so that the jars don't clank together and that they don't cause each other to break. All right, I do believe you can see this raising in the video, or at least I hope you can. I can see it. Now I'm going to turn it down to let it simmer for 10 minutes. All right, so this has been simmering for 10 minutes. So now we're going to add the half a cup of brown sugar and let it cook, simmer for another 5 minutes. And I have gotten the towel ready to put my jars on, because you never want to put your hot jars on a cold surface because they will break. So, and if you can see behind me, there's a towel right here on here where I'm going to put the jars when I'm done. I'll be right back when it's done. All right, so we are ready to go ahead and jar our spaghetti sauce. This is a canning funnel. And this is you don't have to have one, but it makes it a lot easier to put your stuff in your jars with a canning funnel. We're going to leave a inch head space, which on a jar, it's this ring right here. And I don't know if I told you or not, but I've had the pressure canner on the burner on to get the water warm, so I'm not putting hot jars in cold water also. Well, okay, I forgot to get a paper towel to clean the lips of the jars. Use white vinegar, distilled white vinegar. Oh, I forgot to get rings. You put your lids on your jars. I gotta get some rings. I forgot the rings. And then you just put them on fingertip tight. I have been known to forget to put the ring on. Bummer. Actually, I'm going to take all these off because I forgot to Make sure there's no bubbles in here. Now I have to wipe them off again. So you want to remember to do this the first time around so you don't have to do it a second time. Okay, there we go. I'm going to keep these out of the way so that I can put them all in the can at the same time. Go ahead and do it when I remember to do it. If it goes down below the 1 inch line, then you could add some more to it. Okay, you don't need to watch the rest of this. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and have it watch because I don't know everything is. Just because it says it will yield 14 pints, it doesn't always happen. Because not all tomatoes are the same size. Again, you put your lids on, rings finger tight. See how that's a little full? See if it's got some air bubbles in it to see if it goes down. And it did. It's perfectly fine. Now that one's too full. There we go. Looks like I'm gonna have to get a couple more jars. Oh, it looked like I only needed one extra jar. Oops. Full. There we go. All right. Going to wipe that off. Go ahead and put the last ring on. And then I'm going to move you over so you can watch me put them in the canner. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just put the first layer down. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the middle. I mean on the bottom. My other ring. And then there's going to be 6 on top. And I do believe 6, I won't need to put a placement jar in there. So now, Before you start to cook with your pressure canner, you should blow in this hole to make sure you get air out this other side. And I do. So now I'm going to go ahead and put it on. Put it on like that and then slide it. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn up the heat a little bit. And then once a constant steam comes out of this hole right here, for 10 minutes we'll be able to start this canner. The actual time on this canner. And I use what I call it's a 3-piece hurla girl that goes on the top of my canner right here. This is only 2 of the 3 pieces because I only need 10 pounds of pressure. So when this starts to shoot out air, I'll get back to you. All right, can you see how that steam's coming out of there? So now we're going to go ahead and start timing that for 10 minutes. It needs to vent for 10 minutes. All right, so this has been steaming for 10 minutes. Now I'm going to put my hula girl on. And once it builds pressure and it starts to dance, then we will start our 60-minute timer for these. All right, this means she's up to pressure and she is wiggling just right. And it says 12 pounds of pressure on my gauge, but I don't actually use my gauge because I have this weight, so I don't need to use the meter. And because that is up to pressure, actually I'm going to turn down the heat just a little bit. She's wiggling a little fast. And then I'm going to go ahead and start my timers for 60 minutes or 1 hour, whatever. She's doing a little crazy right now, so I went ahead and lowered the temperature again. There she goes. She's looking better. All right, it has been 60 minutes since we started a canner. We have turned off the heat, and the knob in the back needs to go down before you're able to remove the hula girl. And once the knob in the back goes down, you wait 10 minutes and you make sure that there's no hissing when you go to pull the hula off, and then you'll unloosen the lid and pull it up like I did the other one, and then we will let it sit for 10 minutes and then we'll pull. All right, you can see that the knob has went down, so now I'm going to set a 10-minute timer and then we will work on getting the hula girl off. All right, so it's been 10 minutes. Listen to hear, see if you hear any hissing. I didn't. So now we can go ahead and crack open the pressure canner, and I'm going to have to put you on the tripod. Hold on a second. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and twist the pressure canner lid off. I'm going to go ahead and lift it a little bit to let the air, the steam come out at the back of the canner, not in my face. Just going to go ahead and set this on the pot. Okay, now we have 10 minutes to wait before we can pull out the very hot canning jars. And I'll show you what that's like in just a second. All right, so oops, got to turn that off. So make sure you use your canning tongs because they're very hot. Do not tighten up your rings as you pull them out of the oven. I mean the flaker canner. Because you want them to seal correctly. Look at how that looks. Looks delicious. And if you can see, this one is still bubbling. I don't know if you can see it or not, but that's perfectly normal when it comes out of the canner. Okay, and now I gotta remove the metal rack from between the two. And then I just pull the bottom row out like I did the top row. And when I'm done, I'll go ahead and turn the camera back on and show you where I put them. All right, here they are on a towel so that they can cool off for 12 hours, and then I'll take the rings off and see if they have sealed correctly. Good afternoon, welcome back to my channel. I am going to show you how to test the spaghetti sauce to see if the lid's sealed correctly or not. So you take the ring off. If you can pick the jar up by the lid, it is completely sealed. Now, some of these jars aren't as full as they were. Like this one, it was up to the 1-inch mark, and it's shrank some. That's okay as long as the jar is still over half full. These rings are sticky, so you're gonna want to wash them. Which, when you do tomatoes, that happens. Okay, we did 15 pints of spaghetti sauce, and they all sealed. Now I'm going to show you how to clean them. Wipe them with a warm rag. You'll want to do that with all of them. I'm not going to show you how to do all of them. I'm just going to show you this one. And I wiped the top off. I usually just let it air dry. But I wanted to show you what to do after you've checked them. And you'll want to put on it spaghetti sauce, or whatever you're going to remember what it is. And I want to put yesterday's date, which was 4/18 of 25. Get this a little closer so you can see it. And I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of that off screen. I hope you enjoyed this. So, I personally use Denali canning rings and lids. They're the best that I have found with all the canning that I do. I very seldom ever have a non-seal. If I do, it's usually because I missed a broken jar. and my Denali canning code and affiliate link is in the description.